future-looking solutions for BRD and other tough challenges. We're dedicated to ensuring our solutions always help you handle whatever you're up against. Our growing portfolio of products for the prevention, control, and treatment of BRD allows you to select the right solution to help keep your herd healthy and productive. It's right for cattle and right by you. Breathe easier. Ask your herd health veterinarian or sales rep about Elanco BRD Solutions. Elanco is a trademark of Elanco or its affiliates.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
Today will be partly sunny with a high of 84 to 86, then partly cloudy tonight, low 66 to 73. Mostly sunny on Thursday, high tomorrow 86 to 89, then a nice day Friday with a blend of sunshine and clouds and a high of 85 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you. This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday, hump day. It is a beautiful day here in the Brick City, beautiful Ocala, Florida, as we come to you from the WOCA studios just off the runway at Ocala International Airport. In studio with me now is Robert Colin. He comes from On Top of the World. We got some things coming up at Shalom Park. Robert, good morning to you first off.
Good morning. Good.
Got some things coming up at Shalom Park, more so than just looking for rocks, I think.
That's right. But so this morning we're going to have Brian Schroeder on from the swim. From
we got the Natatorium we're going to talk about.
Right, and Rebecca will be here too. They're here, but they're getting ready. But before that, so we're going to talk
about their Speedos on and stuff.
Something like that, yeah, hopefully. So on Sunday at Shalom Park.
Sunday.
Which is on Southwest 80th Avenue. If you haven't been to Shalom Park, I guess you haven't been in Ocala for very long. But we have it's our fourth annual Let's Get Buggy event. It's a Fun at the Park event from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So it's going to be a terrific event. We have live music. We have a ladybug release. We'll release about 80,000 ladybugs. And so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Are you going to be there?
I will be there. And,
you releasing ladybugs?
Yes, usually I do.
I like ladybugs landing on me because that means good luck.
Yeah, but it's a great event, and it's up fun for all the family. 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock on this Sunday at Shalom Park.
Well, now you've had a couple people swim into the room.
That's right. I'm really excited to bring them on here. And Rebecca Rogers, who is the director of the foundation that's involved with building the Fast Swim Natatorium, let her introduce Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
I drove by the Natatorium 3 times last week and thought, there's a state-of-the-art facility right here in Ocala.
Absolutely it is. We're really excited. It's good to be here today. And I have with us our new head coach of FAST, Coach Brian Schroeder. He comes to us from Denver, but he's been from a lot of places actually in coaching. So we're excited to welcome him to Ocala and bring him to the community.
Well, welcome to Ocala, Brian.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
I back in the 80s, I was associated with a little club called Dynamo in Atlanta. You may have heard of it.
I might have heard of it.
You may have heard of Pat and that group over in Atlanta.
And they had some gold medals this last time around.
Yes, Dynamo does pretty good.
They do.
For a little bitty natatorium on Shallowford Road in the middle of downtown Atlanta. It's a pretty good place.
That's right.
But one that's going to pale in comparison to what's going on at Calessa.
We hope so. It's an amazing endeavor here, and I can't wait for it to open. But the amount of water and just the attention to detail that is going on here is pretty amazing.
How important is it that in our community we bring a facility that is state-of-the-art, that is second to none. You can put it up against any facility in the world to bring swimmers, because this kind of place is going to bring world-class swimmers from all around the country. How important do you think that is to our community to have a place like that?
So not only is it going to attract some elite athletes, but you're going to bring in people that want to compete and train, and just the level of competitions that you're going to be able to have here, the number of competitions to have economic impact on the community is going to be tremendous. And then looking long term, when you build something like this, it's not out of range to think that you're going to have quite a few individuals competing for spots on the 2028 Olympic team.
Talk to us a little bit about what went into with the foundation and what went into bringing this to where it came from an idea to there are walls, there's holes, there's water, there's pools. Well, take it from where it was an idea to where we are now.
Well, so in 2019, the college where our current community pool is,
right.
One of them,
CF.
we have a few at CF, they were going to close that pool. It didn't fit their mission any longer, and it was going to leave a void in the community, honestly. There's a swim team that practices there now. All of our local high schools practice there. Life-saving techniques are taught there, EMTs, lifeguarding, all of that. And so the foundation stepped in, filled that gap, and said we can actually build something for the community that can be world-class, larger and smaller, I like to say. So for that third grade 10-year-old girl that is going to learn to swim, that may never swim in the Olympics, she's going to have the same access to quality coaching and amazing water as an Olympic athlete will have.
Yeah, because when CF decided to close their facility because their mission went in a different direction,
sure,
that left the only two Olympic-sized pools in the county, I believe, were on Martin Luther King and 36th Avenue. Mm-hmm. The two city
sure,
pools,
right,
were the only Olympic-sized pools. And God bless the city; they do a great job with their facilities. But there's not a whole lot of Olympic training going on at those pools.
Those are just 25-meter pools, right? 25-yard pools.
Are they 25 meter or 50?
I don't know that they're 50 meter.
They may not be 50 meter.
Yeah.
So they're indoor. They're indoor. They're indoor Olympic pools outdoors. I thought you're right. They are 25 meters.
Yeah, they're 25. So the foundation knew that we could build something that our local community can have access to, and on top of that, we can really draw in athletes from all over the world.
Is there going to be a push to make sure that the community as a whole knows that this natatorium is open to everybody in the community?
Yes, for sure. So we are scheduled to open in March of 22. We will be doing a grand opening that is forthcoming. We are working on that exciting event for an entire weekend that will be happening. And as Coach Brian starts marketing the team, so he's going to be coaching a fast swimming team, competitive team out of fast. You'll be hearing more about that in a few months.
Brian,
early 22.
Brian, talk to us about, you've seen facilities all over the world. Talk to us about when you saw these facilities, what your thoughts were.
I was blown away. I've had some good fortune to work at some great places and really world-class facilities, University of Georgia, University of Iowa, Texas. And this is as good or better than them. You have an outdoor 50-meter pool for whatever you want to use it for, in the sunshine here in Florida. And then you would be surprised, but the need for an indoor 50-meter facility with a lot of seating is going to change the dynamic in this region, not only in Ocala, but in the Southeast and nationally. I think people will want to come here to compete in a world-class venue that seats 2,000 people.
For a guy who's been, I've been a lap counter for a girl who swam the 1,500. I've been to a lot of swim meets. I've sat in a lot of hot areas where you're just outside and exposed. A 2,000 seat indoor swimming pool, that's something that will draw people from all over the country.
Agreed. And we want to host events, and we are hosting the Florida Age Group Championships in July. And that's going to be an amazing event for us to really kick off and show the region what we have going on.
Talk a little bit about what the venue will give, though, not only to world-class swimmers, but to, like you said, the 8-year-old that may want to learn how to swim, or the person that wants to get their child involved just for socialization or something. What all kind of activities are going to be offered that aren't maybe world-class swimming events?
You know, I love this idea because swimming is literally the fountain of life. And I went yesterday and visited all the high school teams that were practicing. And those high school only swimmers, they're going to thrive in a venue like this. And those age group swimmers that aren't going to make it to the elite level, they're going to be well taken care of, and they're going to love the experience that they have here, and it's going to be part of their lives.
Are there going to be events set up or classes set up that adults who maybe aren't, they're past the competitive ability where they're world class or even state class or country, where there's still stuff that they can use the natatorium to their advantage?
Well, we're going to definitely have a master's team, but we're also going to have adult fitness classes, and we're also going to have adult swimming lessons. So I think we can cover all those bases and maybe even start an adult pipeline too.
You make a valid point. A lot of people think if you're an adult, you know how to swim. And there's a large group of adults that they don't get in the water because they're scared of it because they have no idea how to swim. My dad, God love him, he taught me how to swim at a very early age. 5 years old, off the back of the boat, 17 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico. Get back. So I learned to swim the old-fashioned way, either swim or die. That's pretty much what I got. But a lot of adults, a lot of people, I know a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that don't know how to swim, and so they stay out of the water, and it boggles my mind. You live in Florida, and you don't go anywhere near the water because you don't know how to swim. This is something y'all are going to address.
We hope so. We hope so. And there's a great adult community here that can find a new outlet and a new health activity, anything. So.
Now, we're talking about swimming and the natatorium and all, but every year when I see the Olympics, I get fired up for this one sport because I forget how physical the sport is. Is there any plans to have water polo at the natatorium?
That's an option, I would think. I mean, there's a lot of water sports, and we've had a lot of interest from a lot of groups because of what we're building. So that'll be yet to be seen, but it is.
Because you have the ability to have water polo there.
We do.
Is there going to be the time available in the pool for that?
We may have to build another pool.
Robert, checkbook.
So my checkbook.
The Colin Foundation checkbook.
Rebecca comes in.
But we do want to provide from learn to swim, from families with their small children all the way to master's level, adults who are still getting in the water and wanting to be physically fit. For the socialization, for all of it, we're going to have that much water available.
I know that y'all have, at On Top of the World, you have a lot of stuff. You have physical therapy classes and stuff like that. Will the natatorium be used for those kind of events as well, where some recreation classes can be held there? Because I'm falling apart. My knees and back are shot. So it's better for me to do calisthenics and aerobics and all in a pool because it's better for my body.
The good thing about the outdoor Murtha pool that we purchased from the Olympic Trials 2020 is it's 4 feet in one of the sections, and we put shade over it so that classes like that, people can be in the shade, 4 feet deep water, learning to swim, doing calisthenics, exercising, so that much water is available as well.
Yeah, the indoor pools are really deep water. So
yeah.
If you want to talk
really
about
deep
that
water. And Brian can speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, the indoor pool is going to be fast, and deep equals fast. So we're excited about the competition venue, but we also have the splash park for you to make sure that you.
Well, I need to, it's kind of like, Caddyshack. You got a pool or a pond? I got both pool and pond. Pond would be good for you. Exactly. Yeah.
We haven't talked about it though, but we're going to have a world-class weight room and strength and conditioning facility. So we have a 2,500 square foot weight room that'll be part of the venue, and I anticipate a lot of people being able to use that in a really healthy manner.
When the foundation came up with this idea to build this natatorium, it was all about helping the community. How important, I know, but I want the public to know that's listening, how important is it to the foundation that you, when you can, help this community thrive and succeed?
Well, the mission of Circle Square Foundation is to create initiatives that create wellness opportunities for the community. So our filter is, does it affect people's lives for good? And if it does, it's something we want to be involved in. And so swimming was one of those activities, not only from a physical point of view, but again, we weren't going to have a pool in this community for a lot of people. And so we were able to step in and fill the gap. So we're always looking for ways to improve Marion County. And if we get to improve it globally on that scale, we want to do that too.
Robert, how important is it to use the Natatorium and the charter school as points of interest for Kalesa?
That's a difficult question to answer. Obviously, it's a great place to have the school that's to be right in your community and a natatorium. So you could be a person who you buy your house in Kalesa and you can ride your bike to school, and you'll be able to ride your bike then, or even walk to swim lessons afterwards or swim practice afterwards. And then it's kind of that live, learn, play, or live, work, play, depending on how you look at it. That you'll be able to take them back to a time when everything was right there in your community, and you could, even a worship center is right there, so everything will be right around you. And it goes back to what we always talk about, is providing kind of a deeper, more meaningful life for you, that you're not just sitting in front of a video game. You're able to get out of your house, go on the trails, go to walk to school, ride your bike to school, get involved with other activities that are in your community, and really live life to its fullest. And I think that's what having somebody like Brian here, somebody the quality that Brian provides at the pool, really brings to Marion County and to a Kalesa community.
You know, when I was involved with swimming back in the early 80s, I had a good friend swim in the 84 Olympics, the 86 Goodwill Games, and so I was very in tune to swimming back then, but it was very much a drop-off pickup sport. But in this day and age, parents don't want to drop off and pick up. They're a little more in tune to the dangers that may be out there when they're not, the child leaves the natatorium waiting outside. What are some of the things you have in place that not only take parents' mind and put it at ease, but are there places where parents are able to sit and watch, and where they don't just drop off and pick up?
Well, the natatorium is really large. There's a lot of different spaces. As a matter of fact, when you walk into the lobby, there's actually going to be seating that encourages conversation. You can sit, and there's laptop tables and Wi-Fi if you need to come in and do some work while your child is practicing. There's also an outdoor splash pad, like Brian referenced, that actually has shade. It's got some water structures in play for smaller children or siblings that are waiting, but also for moms and dads or guardians that want to sit outside, sort of waiting on their child's practice. So they can be outside and experience that as well. So there's lots of things within the natatorium, places they can go where they're not really on top of the practice, because I don't think students really want that as well, particularly high schoolers, but yet the guardian parent can at least be close and feel like they're in the vicinity.
How much of the workforce, because I know with a world-class facility like this, you got to bring in world-class trainers. Brian's got to bring in people that understand what he's trying to accomplish. But how much of the staff, away from the world-class part of it, how much of the staff will be right here from where we are in Ocala?
We hope that we have a lot of local people involved, from lifeguarding to the front desk to maintenance. But yeah, we want to see if there's local people that want to grow as coaches and be a part of something great. So we look forward to seeing who's interested when we start to hire.
So Brian, I'll just throw in there, Brian, at the way the CF is run now, just curious how it changes. You've got kids that are advanced or high school swimmers, and they teach younger kids, the 5-year-old, the 6-year-old. Is that something that you see continuing?
Well, I think anybody that knows swimming pools knows that people love to hang out, and they get jobs as lifeguarding and swim instructors. So that circle will definitely be happening here in Ocala.
Yeah, the old adage was, swimmers never die. They just become lifeguards and swim instructors.
Or coaches.
Or coaches, yeah. How important is it to nurture the youth of our area to maybe get into the interest of coaching and giving back what they've learned?
It's going to happen. And, it's a special thing that's happening here, because when you start giving free swimming lessons to every third grader, they're going to stay involved. And I think that this place is going to be a magnet.
Wait, hold on. You said what? What kind of swimming lessons?
So it's an initiative of the foundation that we want for every third grader in Marion County to, if they choose to receive free swimming lessons at FAST.
She said free. That's Free. Free.
That's an initiative of the foundation because we think swimming is that important. We want to teach them how to swim, much to your point, so they're not adults who don't know how, that they will have had the opportunity as a third grader to learn.
It's funny, I had a friend of mine email me yesterday. He's like, well, what if a third grader can't afford to participate in your program? And I told that to Rebecca. She's like, I can't wait to answer that question.
It's free. That's how they can afford it. Third grader doesn't have to give up any lunch money. It's free.
That's right.
It's free. So are there going to be classes offered from toddler all the way through adult?
Absolutely.
We have that much water.
You do have. You do.
We have a lot of
As I
water.
drove by the facility, and then the facility was still there, and then the facility was still there. I'm like, I'm doing 55 down through here, and I'm still seeing facility on my right side as I was coming down 80th. I'm like, okay, that's pretty big facility right there on the road too. It's right there.
Yeah.
Sits on the hill. Oh, it's an amazing structure, and it opens again in March
of 22. So
March
we
of
are
22.
not-
So 6 months, 5 months.
Yes.
Wow.
So we will start a 90-day countdown in January.
That Colin family, they get things going.
That's right.
They get things moving. They get things moving. So with the Natatorium taking shape, how long, I know there's plans for a Florida meet and everything, how long before national competitions are being held?
That's a good question, and we have some good ties with USA Swimming. I think it's going to be sooner than later. I think within 4 years we're going to be hosting something in conjunction with USA Swimming, but we also have the capacity to be a little different. So we can have a national level competition that maybe isn't your true junior nationals or true senior nationals, but a pretty elite level event, and maybe doing some things that are a little bit different and fun in conjunction with that, like a skins race.
Not a shaveable event, but close.
That's right. That's right.
For those in the swim industry, you know what I just said. For those of you out of the swim industry, shaveable events, well, I'll explain it later. How amazing was it that the foundation was able to procure the Olympic the Olympic trials pool to put in this natatorium?
So it was a really amazing opportunity.
It's got to be a coup. The coup. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. So back in, I believe it was early 2020, of course, the pandemic had just started. Coach Bill Vargo, who coaches the Marlins, introduced us to Coach Greg Troy, who was at University of Florida for a long time and an Olympic coach as well. And he came and looked at the plans and had a conversation with us about what we were interested in. And he mentioned to us that he knew that the pool for the Olympic trials was available for sale if that was something we would be interested in. So he introduced us to the people at USA Swimming, and we sort of started that conversation. And a year and a half later, here we are with purchasing the Murtha pool that was used at the trials, the warm down pool, and it's perfect for what we need. It
is a coup, and it's you don't even realize when you hear people say it was the warm up pool. It's a 50-meter world-class facility with 7 long course lanes, which means it's the Olympic distance, and then 5 short course lanes, which is perfect for warm down, but also it's the high school distance, and it just allows us to have that many more lanes.
Is this going to become the central pool for all the high school competitions in the county?
We hope so.
We definitely hope so.
We hope so.
If not in the state.
If
right?
not in I like that. If not in the entire state. You hear that, O'Connell Center?
Why do you think that it could become for the whole state?
Because, and again, it goes to the idea that the state of Florida needed this, because you're having your state meet outside in November, and sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's windy. I don't think there's enough seating at that event for what's going on. So here we have it. We can have a very safe, fast event with lots of spectators and energy, and really get Florida high school moving in a way that will really be beneficial.
How I know it's a deep water pool. What are we talking about when you say deep water? Because I know the deeper the water, the faster you go because the less water gets disturbed. I understand that. So what do you mean depth wise? What is this pool?
It's 7 to 9 feet, and anytime you get 9 feet, anytime you get to that kind of depth, you're just not getting any concussion waves off the bottom of the pool, which is really the disrupting presence when you get a lot of.
It is the disrupting presence.
Yes. So the waves are less, and
the deep end's 15 feet, right? There's a for potential future diving, but
yeah, that I actually don't know.
Well, that's the next question I was going to ask. Is there a potential that diving competition should be held there in a future situation?
Well, for high school, we have a 1 meter and 3 meter, that you have to have for high school competitions. But diving, we'll see. That could be in the plans. It would probably be an entirely separate.
No 10-meter platform, but there's 1 meter and 3 meter.
But we never say never.
Never say never. Hey, tell people where they can find more information about the Natatorium if they want to.
Okay, so if you visit our website at floridafast.com, you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Swim Florida Fast is on Instagram, but floridafast.com, they can find out more information.
30 minutes flies by.
Sure does.
Thanks so much for coming in today, and I hope to have y'all in more often to talk more about this.
we hope to see you at the pool.
Yeah, somebody claim me as an island.
They'll do trivia night.
Exactly. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this short timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Facebook has agreed to pay up to $14.25 million to settle allegations it discriminated against U.S. workers by reserving positions for temporary visa holders, the Justice Department announced on Tuesday. A congressional committee probing January 6 voted unanimously on Tuesday in favor of contempt of Congress charges against Steve Bannon, a longtime aide to former President Trump. Approval of the report paved the way for the entire House, run by Democrats, to vote on whether to recommend contempt charges. That vote is set for Thursday and is expected to pass. The U.S. Census Bureau